Hey folks, it is Wednesday evening and we didn't want to miss an opportunity to get to you today, even though I know it's just a little bit late in the day. But we just wanted to share some scripture with you. I just want to share just a thought that I've been having over the last few weeks, and just some clarity that I had through reading scripture and looking to some mentors in my life for some direction. I can remember just a couple weeks back whenever things just started to unfold in our area with COVID-19, and the government was coming and saying, we're going to place all these guidelines and restrictions in place, and you can't meet if you have more than 250 people in a public gathering. And there for a second, I breathed a breath of relief, because I knew that we could still gather, and we did gather that first week because we didn't have 250 in our service at each time. So we were safe and able to do that. But then just a couple of days after, the new restriction came out, limiting to 10. And we were forced to really make the decision to not worship together in a gathering in this room. And this room has been empty for a few weeks on Sunday mornings. There have been a few of us that have gathered here to make sure you have a worship experience for you and your family at home. But we've not gathered as the church here now for a couple weeks, and we know it's still going to be a little bit more time before we're able to do so. But as that new directive came, I was really mad and just had anger building up inside of me, because I'm not somebody who wants someone to tell me what to do. I don't like to be told what to do. I don't like to be told that I can't do something, and for someone to tell me, hey, you cannot come together as the church and worship, that really didn't sit well with me. But I think it's all in the way that we hear things sometimes. The government was not coming to us and saying, hey, you're not allowed to have church because worship is not permitted at this time. But in fact, we've heard the opposite from our government officials, encouraging churches to come together, encouraging them to live stream. The governor of our state even saying that we are just as essential as the healthcare professionals right now in bringing a message of hope and faith to people. And that took me to this passage of scripture in the book of Titus. Titus chapter 3 reminds us how we should submit to rulers and authorities. It says to remind the people, he says, to be subject to the rulers and authorities, to be obedient, to be ready to do whatever is good, to slander no one, and to be peaceable and considerate, and always be gentle toward everyone. Submit to the government, submit to the authorities and the rulers, to those guidelines that are in place. They're not meant to stop the church from doing what it's doing. They're meant to stop the virus from doing what it's doing. We are still encouraged to worship, though we may not be able to gather in this room. We are still encouraged to serve. We are still encouraged to do what is good, what is considerate, as it says, and peaceable, reaching out with love to one another. That's what we're to be doing as the church. We're not being persecuted against and told that worship is not allowed at this time. We're just being asked to find a different way to do it, so that we can get control of this situation that we found ourselves in with this pandemic, and that we will be able to come back together in this room as the church and worship. And what a Sunday morning! What a Sunday morning that will be whenever we are able to do that. Verse 8 of Titus 3 says that this is a trustworthy saying, and I want you to stress these things, so that those who have trusted in God may be careful to devote themselves to doing what is good, to do what is good. These things are excellent and profitable for everyone. So while you feel like you may be restricted while you're on quarantine and you can't go anywhere and you're being told you can't do something, what you're doing is good and is profitable for everyone. And if there's one thing that is our mission as the church, is to do what is good, to love, to be profitable for everyone, to encourage them, to keep people safe, to pray for their health. So would you join me over these next few days as we continue in this time of uncertainty, to do what is good, to be considerate, to be peaceable, so that we can come back together in this room and give God the glory for what he has done.